Mami kwa na me ayi onemunyamfo Akyea eni enkomo woye mranimu ni woye onyankopon sofo na ye ne no twetwe enkomo kazo
mejo so
umpom te sei wadawroma
awradi di mu ye ho ye na so ai
ko pa na miwura eye kwabna adu Boahene so ne ho te sei
o ne ho ye pa
nyame ase ana de nchia nso amame na enu am kokoto na we de yenim se ebere ni ho kakre kopie mu ene sei wadawroma eye de Supreme Court no e kan ye
oni to assess say no bafu born case bi a Supreme Court case ye ba article 19 a free be fair trial odi pa na ya born kwad nya media de di nasem sani ayi ni ye no ye ni nasem mo media ni court and ye free prove beyond reasonable doubt na obeye say adwuma no ade bi e fa case ni ho e be boa na wa charge no and I say charge so the by friend disclosures now ono disclosures na prosecutor ne dey ba no e ma ye kwan me yusu na ye kire so asem ye dibem asem we kura ese wan kasa case no enu nti ye call judge pani friends nyante nyado ho so on fa disclosures no my na ye fa nye case no wa first disclosures na my I just block disclosures no ebuna friends adubu I said that I see an appeal and the court
council metiasia so a nipa na woni na nyanya no saa de ya mu kan case management conference time no amepiem se wo mo de saa ne nyina beba
this is one day any man no case management time nyina che ade bia e fa case no ho no wo kura we prosecution be use we so de ba se ne be ya ye no a asem no epem ye bo no 777 years in fact also 2 days before case management there's all filing disclosures and you know no amaso sa na so actually no file no on the buy no on file on the buy no na back okra na 88 pages here to from advantage solutions bank account I say I get that now bank account I say you complete no you 288 pages from now yes
pages in 88
yes sir. Yes, Boahene. I said, my head and yes, that's true. Nina, thou. When it you want,
conceal, sir, at the day.
Disappear, Obiani as here when it's Diana. 88 pages, the moon of excess or innocent, a year from Judge and so on, my also on Fairmont. My call, court of appeal, and a court of appeal, no, a dipami and a trasso. Oh, you know, some anoko back, or say. Adi dia here see FMI be FMI. I feel quite the national security measures here the purpose of 49.1 million no. Enti Fabino Bemkasia Nagan and Edi, send a bayan cassa do wine when your name of a Meladopia also prosecute to be disclosures now. A baby aboa a friend say accused person that's all the back. So it's victory for the rule of law.
Council back what was to say and say court ne say sa 49.1 million Ghana cedis na in contention no national security for no emechirim the purpose of that scan.
Yes eti una awunya juma on national security no ana unu no ho say 49 million no yes wunya national security juma e dan na hu ye enti asamu ya troka say emra nkoye on press conference na no nim na dia cyber security on koto and 49 million koto on so on sem afei na si free media space wona be prove and twetwere won bo no enti say wonu a wonya ho adwuma no na wo ka wo won ya adwuma no ka say friends 49.1 million na enye cyber security and ye de koto na nya ban sika so a na case no papem no say na ye ya to atwe no this
Baba na we ya abase yi adanse fo ama fe wo mo cross examine wo mo e wo sa ne hu na we yakoba se mo fa this disclosures no samra no mo ba cross examine san krofo no na set de ne besie
eno pa na waka no ye friend no recall of witnesses the witnesses na se fro no bi no near the documents na attending na e de ba no a confront one the best edgeman on so account.
Wow. Now, Papa Mami Yadi, now Sabren, the Attorney General came to town. Every year press conference, he said, Yeni, Kay, enemy the idea. Nayatisa Bakubi, a Massa raising, say, a free 1992. And Kawamon a dance ye bimla metre, how a national security. Esi first year woma juma enum ne ade ade nyina se obi okra na ya fan se national security kwa men kuma tikese na bi amama bi accounts bi ne de operate o sa ade ade nyina na yesi court ne se ebi ba bi ho a e broad dodo eno te sen
let's go pa don say
yesi mo request say enka since bi 1992 enka national security for matchere how our operations no ne ade ade ne etie na AD asem na da court no yes court no say na too broad eti say
say no 1992 na Captain Kojoti Kata no national security coordinator and no free mo nti judges no believe say ye mera ye nimu kakra dey bi aye fen ko start Kufuor ho President Kufuor national security ABC na no on show ye national security operations no via accounts no and you was at the end of the normal the national security to me be a private account or the customer for your friend a decoy it would offer the national security and account near private national security there and near my baby the account none UMB no now a national security coordinator no and a sure let us see me account and national security coordinator now actual see me account now. I then I would baby, Yoko, Eka. Oh, I only had national security say account will be private account or the Jessica. And account to Numukra say, the kind of Gumono, all signed the big called national security.
Now, be a Jessica, what you miss the account says can wear because national security for
Mo or him. I drink us here now, the nominal. I summon a troca.
Maria Security national security. Now, Franco said, "Can I be moving for your operations?"
Hey, Cocoan answers some time say.
I did be me, Yakakana, say, Mama. Sir, national security, and Yama Bebre wa, Yam Fameto, a Riamu, Emma, a Riam woman, Crofo, and Yama who do our mind, Sabia, national security cry, say, I yokoto tio, Netuno, you will say, national security, you will save houses, a honey, what, Nesicase, near the torno, near Toffee win some, Sanya Maya, Yadi go a bontin say, a boy, as or mine.
Say, the whole national security won't teach the Nipan president. President, and yen pen or buy you. Watana Kunyano so, Asia baby. Enti, and near man now see and firma Tujano. And yet the government submarine on all power on some almost on your Duane. I will take crazy how. Send national security couple no major call to them church and their master. It's the only company no crab me a cat now on pay confidentiality and the more blow of cover say they supply cyber defense system. So even the international security network, you know. So look at you with suspicious Ghana there. Only on the Jano, you know why the work could not cut. How do you compromise national security, sir? Abrantia Bakupenti. And to Papa, and the working I know, and never be below national security 777. Yen Timpo, they call it the government submarine. One Shisumase, no bomb, no buying. I feel the near period so young pet young former national security. You have set dangerous presidents, okay. And then about for a bar, you go for national security coordinator or what you say. You may be service and no answer more court. What a dangerous president. God, the American is a fancy be a Ghana army. Ya kwato ni maybe a mawa or mudi be a fancy missile interceptors. Na and no one somewhere bar near Babet na quarto. Ya kwato na waha ni capacity to say ya tony say Nasikani ya the Fahani Diko say. Anase ye kwa koto ebi a helicopter anabi bi dia bre aban ebi a security agencies na ni abeka ni nyina ye koto atuo sei na dia bre police fo bomb kra ye wo no ye wo hwan bomb ni nyina egu abonten so the exposure of our national security no ye no ye national security na ye obika ye submarine activity no ye dey see e be pound to ma kwabena du Boahene obi ene wato wase o enso nsam no so ye kon ene maame baako a won kofa no ba onwa witness yo o witness say ye national security no 49.1 million bi anyirai
was this kabi anyirai
oh papa wa kan on oath okasa isa oath okura bible say the kabi enu 49.1 million ayira wo national security na onen na oye in charge of accounts ko behu na comrade Boahene kwa yen friend na so omra internal disciplinary committee so we are 49.1 million so attention na so beto case ni so
but you can't put something on nothing.
Oh, also I'm found one. It me attack ya mo FM ho no me enya me na me ni mo ye adwuma. Me si na me ka je say mo musika yira. Mo amote FM on say musika yira ai. Na ada tule ni ya na. Hey, papa.
Na ba ku bia e ba foforo a won ba gina ho se ye press conference wa to dan 26 years certain sa dan no e fa he
oh he no me see catch on say adan na o pepper si ade gina on family o twin family ba we see o say pepper bi en ho o to dan kura o landing so ka ho e dan na wa to landing no e say 49.1 million na also we are no bi no de ko to dan no that's all cano.
Because wakoto down or landing, no Janis.
To we are Chicago, not the store down or landing. Yeah. Obama said now, what's your account in ma? Who's a 49.1 million or if we are not the quarter down or landing. Now the account by a friend saying, WTV a the car call landing transfer documents na what accounts no HSA okoto if you landing na then never nyina atoka say na obo to dem no waka
we dia yenya mo amoko court we dia nim say e bedi hu nkomo na yesi ntwato so eya na ye hwede ni nyina so besi madaroma wa vaase chama wuntumi the case ni so ma dia no judge ni so mo file addresses on or before 17th of this month na 3rd July one for atemu emra na multimedia 710 say and you are to be 10 years now man so te ho judge
candid opinion. Let me be very blunt and honest and sincere. Maybe na me comfortable the rate and case in A2 Mikasa. This is my personal view. I may be right, I may be wrong. Because cases of this nature, and our cases be bring war. You said that money to Milka. And yes, I said that what you say, Obin Ababo, Obin Yasio. And you communicate your condition both to Milka. You look at the cases very well, especially if you are for the accused person. You look at the cases very well. Also, prosecution per se in Turmilka. And then you know the man of Turmilka. That is why I say, who has started. Although I say, incident where some money Turmilka for some period. Incident, so no one home so. So sometimes when you are doing this, you need to be very careful. You should check cautiously. But in case why but in my candid opinion, my personal opinion. I will from the Boahene too technical. Boahene too technical. And yet too technical. And who say we human life? Now who say we human life now? I just say you must go all out. Look, one bad focus here. You're calling. I find the motion. I'm not public domain, but I find a motion at the High Court. What is the purpose of that motion? My filing a motion or notice to prohibit the circuit court judge from hearing the matter. Why? Why? Because circuit court judge, they are reminded of that. Okay, I say me money bail kwa, or kwa your body view. Tien you. Some man base quack. Or the quack or your bonny pew. And singing out to see this, and you know. That you know, Sabi, the way I mean, can you know, why an argument? And you know, in law, it means that he has descended into the arena of the conflict. I'm not attacking the judge. I am just raising the issues. So I filed a motion or notice to prohibit the circuit court judge. And I believe that by now, it will my 7. And I think it's coming on the either 10th or 12th of the 12th or 13th June. Lawyers in the crowd, I sought their permission because I said, me wa me raising. Eti be ya ekra wie ye no. Me ka tira mi pa no say. Fama no, ba fo no on fama kudo ponkono ma no. Kimbe so no. Ne ba so ban kanim, ne ban hwai. Because done there e say me di buo. For substantive case, the other day ya ko pensa me so ba mu da kro no. And don't fama go for dan so ben hwai. E say me di buo ama wo mu nyina because they are all lawyers assistant. When I am going to my emotion, not a failure. I can't do it without even giving them the opportunity to read. Upon commission, adoption, vote junior, a fuck motion. Now I am but as a semi duo and my woman. Maybe I go no matter, that's the opportunity. That's a bank derby. Because so sometimes when lawyers we are doing cases, sabi kafrachu. Number one saying panic. What President Mahama a petition against Nanado in 2021. You know, we were about 10 lawyers, 10 or 12 lawyers. I guess here MPP Kokomlemle, MPP head of about 12. We were about 12 lawyers. A lawyer for Pare, Dumianu, and I share Kokomlemle MPP. Now, your final petition number 1, or can say petition number 2. Dumianu, and I do 9 cry. And we were not by Frank Davis. So, always there, I could tamper, I could general, and Frank Davis, no, Sylvia. Yes, only the Sabami and Sunny Bejana there. But yeah, defense for no me a lawyer for Makuma could do you. So as lawyer sometimes Mr. Mikko cases in the bar. No, my young Catabia, Yamin client, and no. You can assemble about 10 lawyers. No, no question the Yaman. Could they wait a next American? Could be an petitioner. President Mahama, you know, your difference. We were about 12 lawyers. So, well, let's wait and see July 4th. But my candid opinion, the American case in A2, none of you scared, none of you worried. None of you scared, none of you worried. This is my personal opinion. One to me is my friend, one to me is my younger brother, one to me is my boss, one to me is my original chairman, one to me TV, Namo Boahene, because every Saturday I benefit from one to me should benefit from me. But and so I don't have the way to express my personal opinion. So let's wait and see. I am not like commentators, but I don't do that. I don't do that. And if you don't catch, oh, now say, because I got a crying people for me. If you are MPP media, now I am going my MPP for. I say, many of my bone for me. I don't know, baby, I can be my album for you. Yeah. Maybe not if you are offended by me, not correct. So be it. If you are happy about me, not correct. So be it. Obian in Ghana has said, me cannot correct. Never minded. The Dominion Copono. Go with principles and morals and good conscience. Now make do what you believe. June 4th. And this is the first celebrity. I am about the bomb my basket. The barrier no for best celebrating. No, that I say, less is the ben is here for June 4th. And people for being rubbish. No, don't rubbish. Women can celebrate and can make MPP. Minority won your press conference and academic day. To tell the whole world that there are lessons to be learned from June 4th. Papa and Bonia a womb. Nanina Jerry John Rollins or confessing. Some of the Kunku for crying active participants of June 4th and 31st, and so up to national reconciliation. John Rollins, but you know, 14 years before.
His company are standing trial over allegations that mining activities were undertaken within their Samre Boy concession and without the requisite authorization. The prosecution alleges that these activities occurred within a forest reserve and constituted unlawful mining operations. The Supreme Court has also dismissed a suit filed by Imani Africa and security analyst Professor Kwesi Enen challenging the president's authority to appoint and remove heads of security agencies. Delivering the judgment, Justice Gabriel Puaman, who chaired the panel, said the court found no merit in the plaintiff's claims and accordingly dismissed all the relief sought. The court also ruled that the offices of the Inspector General of Police and the Director General of the Prison Service do not fall within the protective scope of Article 191 of the Constitution. It further held that the appointments of the Chief Fire Officer and the Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service are governed by statutes and remain within the President's discretion as part of his constitutional responsibility for the nation's security.
In a sense, what we asked for, they haven't given us. But they've decided what to give us, and they've given that to us. And that's what they explain, that in their mind, the offices are not the same. In our law, as it is written, there's no distinction per se. All right, they all come under 191. They are public servants. They are protected, you know, and all those things that we wrote. But the IG is the Supreme Court is saying that two of them should be specially treated, and then the others should also be separately treated. And they gave reasons like the security of the state and the president is the head of the security and a couple of things which it's not clear to us. We went to court on the basis of the law as it is. And the basis of the law as it is that all these offices are public offices. They are protected under Article 191. You can't just get up and sack a person because you assume office. Assuming office as a president or anything is not cause for sacking others. And there are many cases like that. So we will wait and read the full ruling of the Supreme
Chairman Wontumi. Among other things, Otredako Mensah admitted during cross-examination that he was unaware of the conversation between Wontumi and Henry Okumi, who is the prosecution witness number 2, which resulted in the latter mining on his concession, Samre Boy. Lord Edwasari reports.
Bernard Enchi-Boesiakon, also known as Wontumi, is facing charges of assigning mining rights without the approval of the land minister and facilitating illegal mining operations on the Samre Boy concession in the Western region. Former Western Regional Minister Kwabena Otredako Mensah, who also served as chairman of the Western Regional Security Council, told the court during his testimony that a formal complaint was received from Akonta Mining about the invasion of illegal mining operators on Wontumi Samre Boy concession. He affirmed that the complaint was written and documented and was urgently acted upon by the Security Council, as it was consistent with several complaints from other mining rights owners in the region about organized criminal groups invading concessions and carrying out illegal mining. During cross-examination by Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Shremsai, the former minister, who served from 2017 to 2025, disclosed that he did not personally know the prosecution's second witness, Henry Okum, the individual who testified that he was commissioned by Wontumi to mine on his concession. Henry Okum had further told the court that Wontumi did not produce any formal mining rights. Asked about the engagement between Okum and Wontumi, Dako Mensah indicated that he was unaware of the interaction between the small-scale miner and the NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman. Lead counsel and the Akyea Kubi expressed satisfaction with the outcome of the testimony.
Was to indicate that it was rather Chairman Wontumi and his company that made reports to his office as then chairman of the Western Regional Security Council, and that all efforts made by the Security Council to ward off illegal miners and also to redeem or reclaim the lands so degraded by illegal mining were at his instance. So today's evidence sits very well with our own, and indeed it exonerates people who engage in reclamation of degraded lands.
And we are streaming on Facebook and on our website, so be a part of the show.
We begin from the United Kingdom, where President John Mahama has stated that the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill passed by Parliament is not yet ready for presidential assent, noting that the process still has some way to go. Speaking at Chatham House in London on Monday, he explained that concerns have been raised regarding the bill's passage, particularly issues related to quorum and procedural compliance during parliamentary proceedings.
Parliament has been considering it, and it was supposed to have been passed last week. There have been a few issues raised. One, that there wasn't quorum when it was passed. That's an issue that has come up. And then two, there were some procedural lapses in terms of its passage. I just got some communication that the Speaker was reading a statement to address the issue of the lapses in the passage of the bill. And so, like I said, when I was the opposition leader, the President has a number of options in this matter. It must come for assent, and so once the President gets it, you go through it because you are not part of the discussion in Parliament. And so the legal representative, the legal counsel in the Presidency and the Attorney General would sit on it because it was a private member's motion. Right. This was not a government bill. And so we'll look at it and make sure that everything is in order before the President is advised to assent. The President has another option if there are some things that he thinks are a problem. He can refer to the Council of State for advice. The Council of State is an advisory body to the President, and so they will take a look at it, and then they will advise the President. And if there are issues, substantial issues that are raised, the President would return the bill to Parliament, indicating exactly what the issues are. And so there's still quite a while to go before that bill becomes law.
Thank you.
In a related development, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, says he was surprised at the speed by which the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill was passed by Parliament. He has, as a result, summoned the two leaders of the House to explain matters to him, insisting such a critical bill must be passed by consensus.
We know the copious instruments and laws on human rights. All over, you have to go through all, from the UN Charter to the African People's Rights and what, all, you have to go through all. Then we have also our development partners who have a lot of contribution to make. We have the United Nations coming in with proposals on the moon and everything. We as Ghanaians also have to dig deeper into our cultures, our customs, our values before we came out with what was passed on Friday. And in fact, when it was passed on Friday, it was even a surprise to me. Because I knew that they were going to start the consideration of the bill. And that was the instructions I left before I went to attend to other activities. It was Friday, and members wanted to go home early to their constituencies, what we're going to say today. So I knew they wouldn't have completed. But all of a sudden, I read about this passage. I reacted, and later I saw on TV all the things that happened. And so this evening, I've asked the leaders to meet me in my office. So they will be here for us to go through it. This is such a critical deal that we believe it must be consensus. But it's not about passing bill. It's about implementing it and making sure that it benefits.
Meanwhile, the minority caucus in Parliament has accused government and the ruling National Democratic Congress of weakening the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill through extensive amendments before its passage by Parliament last Friday. The Member of Parliament for Asen South, Reverend John Ntim Fodjo, was addressing a media briefing.
According to Reverend John Ntim Fodjo, the changes proposed in the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill represent a departure from commitments made to Ghanaians by the NDC during the 2024 election campaign. He maintained that existing Ghanaian laws already criminalize same-sex sexual relations and same-sex marriage, adding that the primary objective of the anti-LGBTQ+ bill was to address the promotion, advocacy and sponsorship of LGBTQ-related activities. The Asen South NP cited several amendments, including changes to provisions defining prohibited conduct and the introduction of new clauses, which he argues create exemptions for certain persons and institutions.
Promotion of and advocacy for activities prohibited under this act. This is the main thrust of the object of the bill. This is what we don't have in any part of our existing laws, for which this bill came about. Clause 2 says that nobody should promote any such things. Don't do things that will entice, advocate for, and make it enticing, incentivize, advertise, campaign for it. Don't do it. But they say that no, insert this immunity. This is an immunity clause. You are lifting them above the law and saying that if you are within these categories, you can do anything that promotes LGBT, that advocates for LGBT, supports and sponsors LGBT, enables LGBT, and just by virtue that you fall within these categories, as for you, you are above the law, you should be exempted.
Meanwhile, government and sponsors of the amendment bill are yet to formally respond to the minority's latest concerns. The Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill remains one of the most contentious pieces of proposed legislation in the country.
We said in the House of Parliament because what was expected to be a productive special sitting of the House on Monday ended in disappointment after the House was unable to proceed with key businesses due to the absence of several members of the House and the failure of the Minister for Health to appear and answer scheduled questions. Evelyn Tingma reports.
Parliament traditionally does not sit on Mondays as part of its regular schedule. However, the House last week resolved to sit on Monday, June 1, to address pressing national matters, including an appearance by the Minister for Health